Hello everybody, I'm Michael Collins and this is Media Focus. In this video, we're going to be thinking about how to apply theory to humans. And this is if audience comes up in the exam. Now in 2022, when I'm making this video, we know the audience is coming up for the component 2 exam. We know that it's coming up for humans. However, in years beyond this, in 2023 and beyond, it's still something that you can also apply to humans as well. Actually, I don't think it is, because I think next year Black Mirror is coming up, but never mind. Anyway, so how can we apply audience theory to humans? Well, first of all, it's important to start off with what genre humans is. Humans is science fiction. Okay, and in terms of its subgenre, humans is, how best to describe this? Humans is 5 minutes into the future. Okay, Humans is an alternative present science fiction TV show, which basically means it's set in our time. It's set now, but it has robots. Okay, and there are a number of other TV shows and films which do something quite similar to this. Probably the most notable one would be the HBO TV series Westworld, which also deals with robots. So Humans deals quite specifically with the ideas of artificial intelligence. It deals with the ideas of not technically robots, but cyborgs, which are a combination of human and robot as well. And in doing so, what Humans does is it functions as an allegory. Now, an allegory is something which makes a comment on our world, right? It is a metaphor. So a good example would be the Japanese film Godzilla, which is about a huge nuclear radioactive dinosaur which comes out of the ocean after America bombs the Bikini Atoll Islands. It's quite clear that Godzilla isn't actually a dinosaur, but Godzilla represents America, and his atomic ray represents the atomic bomb which was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki by America. So in exactly the same way, Humans isn't actually about robots. It's not actually about cyborgs or science fiction either. Humans is about a number of different things. Humans is about the nuclear family. Humans is about sex. Humans is about prostitution. Humans is also about immigration. Humans is about a whole range of different things, okay? And this gets quite complicated and also quite hard-hitting quite quickly. So one of the things that we need to remember about humans is, although there's a lot of mainstream elements, there's a clear and exciting narrative, there's a range of attractive people, ultimately we could argue that humans is appealing to a niche and quite specific set of audiences. One of these audience would be pre-existing fans of science fiction. Okay, so when we're talking about science fiction fans, the theorist that we're talking about is Henry Jenkins. Okay, and Henry Jenkins is a media researcher and theorist who wrote extensively about fandom, especially in things like, for example, Doctor Who fandom and stuff like that. And essentially what Jenkins argues is there's a difference between fans and audiences. Now, an audience member will just sit down and just watch it. They will just consume it. They might be really, really into something. But a fan takes it further. A fan participates. Okay, and what Jenkins is really, really interested in is this idea of participatory culture, this idea that they actually do something with the media product. Okay, now fans, if we take an example, let's take Star Trek as an example. Okay, we don't just call them Star Trek fans, we call them Trekkies. Okay, and Trekkies don't just watch Star Trek, they are really, really into it. They might dress up like their favorite characters, they might go to conventions, they might learn Klingon, they might write fan fiction. And there are lots of opportunities in humans for fans to do this. Now, it's nowhere near as successful as something like Star Trek, but if we do a quick internet search and go on something like Reddit, we discover that there was a subreddit or a subforum for Humans, which was fairly popular, where fans would discuss what would happen next in the TV show. So they would discuss all kinds of theories and stuff like that. Some fans would interact with the various social media accounts for Humans as well. And the creators of the show, so Channel 4 and AMC, so this was a co-production between the British Channel 4 and the American AMC, actively made sure that fans would engage with this show. Okay? So one of the ways in which they did this was they had a really interesting and weird advertising campaign. Okay? So instead of just advertising the show, Humans coming up on Thursday at 10:30 or something like that, instead what Channel 4 did was they presented these kind of fake adverts for the actual robots, for the actual synths from this TV show. So if you Google Persona Synthetics commercial, Persona Synthetics trailer, you can find this on the internet. And yeah, this is a really, really strange and weird and interesting thing, which is going to very, very much appeal to fans. Okay. So there's a whole range of different ways in which the producers essentially make sure that fans are going to watch this. One of which is the complexity of the TV show. Okay, so the various different character arcs, for example. So Leo has his own character arc. Anita has her own character arc. The middle-class Hawkins family have their own character arc. Later on, Nishka has her own character arc, which will appeal to various different audiences. And another way in which it appeals to fans as opposed to audiences is going back to this idea of genre conventions. Humans is very derivative. It makes a lot of intertextual references to a whole range of different science fiction TV shows, okay? And this includes things like Blade Runner. The very, very first shot of Humans is a clear intertextual reference to Ridley Scott's 1982 film Blade Runner with the close-up of the eye. And essentially what this does is appeal to fans. Okay? So it's nice and straightforward, right? Humans is made for fans. Why? Because there's fewer fans than there are audience members. Why not just make a show for everybody? Well, basically, the reason is that never works. Okay? And fans are more enthusiastic. Fans buy DVDs. Fans go online and discuss things. Fans interact with the social media accounts. And importantly, fans will tell other fans and they will get involved with this as well. We can also link this to Stuart Hall's reception theory as well. Because the preferred reading of Humans, right, the dominant ideological perspective of Humans, which is presented, is this complex and extremely political idea that the target audience are supposed to get on board with. The dominant reading of Humans is to enjoy the complexity, is to enjoy all the various different themes about artificial intelligence and sex and sexuality, to work out exactly what's going on. And all this stuff, right? However, not every audience member is going to agree with this, okay? And an oppositional reading to Humans might well be something along the lines of rejecting the complexity of the TV show and also rejecting the complexity of the generic conventions as well. However, Humans doesn't just appeal to niche audiences. Humans also appeals to general audiences. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, a lot of Humans is actually quite straightforward, right? For example, an excellent example of this would be the dinner scene, the breakfast scene rather, with the Hawkins family. The middle class bickering Hawkins family as they argue over breakfast are going to be very, very relatable to a middle class audience watching this, which means that even non science fiction nerds can also take pleasure and also use humans in different ways.